So when they fish, they have a 25% success rate, which is insane.
Wow.
Welcome to the Wilderness Wavelength Podcast.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. We are live.
Oh, it's live.
Can you hear that? Look at this. Hear that? That's a nice looking fire actually right now.
What's this?
What you drinking?
I'm having a bourbon and Coke in an enamel camp mug.
Oh,
says "Good times outside."
Nice.
Sitting on the fire.
Perfect. I got a beer and a camel koozie right now. Sitting on the fire. I'm George, and that is Jeff.
Hello.
We are live actually from the Emerson Lakes Campground. I'm scared to bring it up sometimes because it's such a gem that I hate to like get it overcrowded, but I don't know if the audience is big enough to worry about that. You know?
And there's probably a lot of great places between your audience and Hinton.
Yeah.
To hear.
Yeah.
And it is a bit of a pain to get to.
It's dusty, dirt roads. It's an hour from Hinton, hauling the trailer.
Yeah. It's
But right now, it's like we're mid-September. Actually, campground pretty full. Like, I haven't walked the whole thing here yet, but it looked like there's guys all the way down.
I was expecting it to be empty. I thought we were going to be able to botch our way all the way around. But
we got our typical campsite, which I was trying to think back. I want to, like, is it 7 years in a row here?
it's pretty close. I think we came here with Jamie the first time.
Yeah. Yeah. We got the site that's overlooking the lake. The moon's coming up right now. Sweet spot. Casey and Christina just went into the trailer, going to read some books. I think he'll be back out again. Maybe. I don't know. He's a little tuckered out today, so we'll see.
Yeah.
We got a big day of... are we going birding tomorrow? Is that what we're going to call it?
We're going birding. We're definitely going birding. I'm always birding.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about birds on this episode. Are you I feel like birding is a new thing for you because I don't remember you bringing it up like years ago unless you were like a closet birder.
So I think so last weekend,
Yeah.
I went to McBain, like a camera store, was having a grand opening.
Uh-huh.
And I was talking to somebody at the booth, and they're showing these fancy camera lenses, and I'm learning to binoculars and camera lenses.
All right.
And the lady's like, "Do you take pictures of birds?"
Yeah.
And
she could just tell that from your vibe going in.
well, 'cause it was a camera store, so lots of people there took pictures. And I said, "No, what? I'm actually more of a birder." And then I looked at her. I was like, "That's the first time I've ever said it out loud." My mom happened to be there, and she's like, "You admit it. You admit you're a birder."
You're a birder.
So I don't think... I've always liked looking at wildlife and things, and then just once you, if you slow down and start looking at all the different crazy birds, you realize it's way more diverse species than
Yeah.
you would have thought.
You got the Merlin app.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ask me how many pairs of binoculars I brought.
How many pairs of binoculars you bring?
4.
4 different pairs of binoculars?
Yeah.
What is the difference between them?
Okay. Well, I have one
Are
pair.
3 of them broken?
No. So I have one pair that's actually was my like childhood Fisher Price binoculars. That I was going to give to Casey. I brought those.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he'll love that.
I have
Might end up in the fire. He's a little wild sometimes.
well, I was going to give them to him when we're in your truck.
Okay,
Bargain.
good. Yeah.
Then I have a pair that's just like that I always have in the car just in case.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I have
binocs.
Yeah, and then I have like my 2 nice pairs. One's a big one and one's like a small one that's like I can always carry with me that my parents got me for my birthday. So.
And tomorrow we're going birding for grouse.
Yeah.
Rough grouse, spruce grouse. They're on the menu. We're hoping to cook some up over the fire tomorrow even. We got a few spots in this area where we've had success in the past. Man, it seems like was last year not super great for grousing, but there was a couple of years ago where it's like there's almost too many grouse.
I think it's cyclical, kind of like how there's the thing where people always say like the rabbits and the lynx.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of rabbits, then there gets to be a lot of lynx, and they eat all the rabbits, and then the lynx population goes down because there's not enough food.
Right.
The rabbit population goes back up.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's like that.
Same
There's
thing with grouse.
A cycle. Because I know some years we see them constantly. Other years we see one.
Yeah. Do you prefer rough grouse or a spruce grouse if you had to choose grouses?
Well, I think there's a right answer to that question.
I don't know. My
And it's
dad
rough
is
grouse.
so against spruce grouse.
Well, I prefer rough grouse too.
Yeah. I mean, it's the white meat. It is tastier. I do like a spruce grouse, though. You know, it's got a rough grouse. Okay, here's my thoughts. A rough grouse feels like I'm eating a chicken. You know, it's just like I went down to the grocery store, got a chicken. Spruce grouse, like, yeah, I got this thing. Like, it's mostly spruce tree.
I agree. And it's like a red meat. I don't find the spruce tree that bad.
No, you mean you cook it with a little butter and stuff, and
it's like deer.
Yeah.
Like if you have a deer, you have to cook it right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Wilderness Wavelength podcast question of the week. Thank you for everyone that sent in your answers to this one. This was a pretty good one. I wasn't sure how it was going to be, but it actually turned out there's a lot of great answers. But the question is, what's the coolest bird you've seen while out camping? What was yours?
It was the belted kingfisher.
Kingfisher.
And I would like to say it's
popped up in actually quite a few answers. People saying kingfishers, by the way.
And I saw that out at McLeod Lake, which is at Carson Pegasus Campground,
Right,
which is also highly recommend. It's a big campground. The sites are kind of expensive, but it has its showers.
Yeah.
Has a fishing wall, and if you have a boat, you catch lots of fish out
Stocked
there.
with rainbows, eh?
Yeah, I went out there with Jordo. He's
Yeah.
a friend of the podcast.
Yeah.
And we caught a lot of trout. We were actually fishing out of his boat, and some man was out there on his little kayak, and he caught a big trout. And
Yeah.
we went over to him, and we're like, "What lure are you using?" He's like, "I'm using this lure, which is like a black spinner."
Yeah.
Because we hadn't caught much fish. We drove into Whitecourt because it's only 15 minutes. We each bought black spinners, came back out.
Yeah.
And then it was on.
Oh,
We
wow.
were catching fish. Anyway, there's lots of osprey out there, low osprey. There's tons of birds, but
Kingfishers eating fish?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I thought it was a blue jay.
Yeah.
And then it dove into the water and got a fish.
Oh, cool.
Because they're about the size of a blue jay.
I was going to say, they look small in the
They're
pictures.
tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're small.
Paul wrote in a bald eagle or a pileated
Woodpecker.
pileated woodpecker. What? There's a lot. What is that?
It's a really giant woodpecker.
That was a big woodpecker.
like bigger than a magpie.
Yeah. Huh.
Basically like a little pterodactyl.
Wow. Gray owls are also cool, he said. Jennifer saw a wild turkey.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a wild turkey.
Daryl saw pelicans.
Nice. Those are sweet.
Yeah. Christy blue herring, bald eagle, sandhill cranes. Oh, that's a good one. Joanne
Yeah.
said sandhill cranes. Ooh, this one's a good one. Elena, whiskey jack.
That's one of my favorite birds.
Yeah, your girlfriend got you like was it for Christmas? Like a
Yeah.
whiskey jack.
Well, there's an
portrait of your-
artist, and if you have show notes, we should tag the artist in your show notes because she does some great work.
What's her name? You remember?
I don't remember. We'll have to look it up.
Okay.
That's why I have to tag in the show notes. But
Check the show notes.
he basically she makes like animals dressed up like people.
Yeah.
So then and like she wasn't doing much commissioning work, and then Gabby reached out to her 'cause she's very good at getting commissioned work and supporting artists, and said, "I want a collab of a whiskey jack," and then a picture of me when I was wearing my flannel and my hat for camping.
Yeah.
And lady's like, "I'm not doing commissions, but I actually really want to draw this one.
Yeah.
So I'll do it for you."
It's a cool looking picture.
It's fun, yeah.
Yeah. Saren said, funny as it may sound, but the woodpecker. I love sometimes they're so close, and even one time I was pecking at a fallen tree on the ground. I still hear its jackhammering beak.
That's nice. That's nice.
Jeez. Oh, yeah, there's some funny ones on here. Lots of owls, though. Bluebirds.
How many people responded?
There's over 100.
What? Wow.
This is Lori, a 1-inch purple hummingbird that winters in South America and arrives back in AZ for the spring.
Yeah. So the hummingbirds, the ruby-breasted hummingbirds that we get here
Yeah.
in Alberta, they winter in like Costa Rica or something. So you could potentially have a hummingbird come to your hummingbird feeder here in the summer.
Yeah.
And then if you go to Costa Rica in the winter, or
Same bird.
it could be potentially the same.
Wow, that would be cool.
Bird. The chances are low, but they aren't zero.
Edwin said, a raven when I was camping out on the hunting trip in northern Alberta. Temp was way below zero. I was cold, so I'm sure it was too. A raven.
Yeah.
Yeah, some good answers. So thank you for the answers to those questions. Do you have a favorite bird?
I have favorite birds in different categories.
Because whiskey jack is now I'm trying to remember. Is whiskey jack the official bird of Alberta or
I think, yeah.
Canada?
Alberta, I think.
Yeah. Which is wild.
Or maybe it's Canada, but it's definitely Alberta.
Yeah.
And,
Alberta.
yeah. So I love whiskey jacks.
You're right.
One of my favorites. And
Yeah.
also because they come around to camp, they steal your food, they keep you on your toes.
Yeah, and some of them are pretty friendly.
Oh, yeah. And, but I really like, for like birds of prey, I think osprey are up there. I really like them. You know, they are the most, here's a crazy bird fact. They are the most like efficient, like hunters. So
Birds are?
no, ospreys.
Osprey, okay.
So when they fish, they have a 25% success rate, which is insane.
Wow.
So what bald eagles will do is bald eagles will like try to steal fish from osprey, but fighting off a bald eagle takes more energy than a 1 in 4 chance of catching a fish. So the osprey will just give the bald eagle the fish
Drop
and
the
go
fish.
catch another fish because
Yeah.
that's easier.
Wow. Bald eagles kind of bullies.
Yeah, they are.
You are American too. Does
I am.
that factor into like a bird choice? Like would you favor a bald eagle because you're like, that's America's bird?
No,
No.
has nothing to do with it at all. But I've lived in Canada for 37 years.
Right.
Yeah. So
I'm saying just the connection to the bald eagle. Like when you think bald eagle, you got to think America,
I
right?
think freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think freedom and I'm just joking. I don't know. Sorry.
The dump in Hinton is like one. It sounds weird, but once you drive to the top of the dump where the like giant garbage piles is, it's like such an amazing view of the mountains. Like you're way up there. It's like one of the best mountain views you can get in Hinton. Also in the trees surrounding the dump, bald eagles. Like I was there last year, and there was like I want to say 5, maybe 6 bald eagles
That's
just
a lot.
in trees up there.
There's probably some bears in there too. The black bears probably
yeah.
roll through there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dump's underrated as far as scenery, you know? Like, it's a spot maybe you should check out more often. I want to read an email. We got an email in the other day, and I thought it was a real nice one. So I was going to read it on the podcast here. This was from Beth. She just said, hey, just wanted to drop in and say hi, that I enjoy listening to your podcast each week. I've been a resident of Hinton for most of my life, and it's so cool to hear it being promoted like this. I also love the extra perspective that you give of children in the wilderness. I can relate to this a lot. I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and we spend a lot of time in the great outdoors. We've been chicken hunting a lot together, and your last podcast reminded me of the awesome times we had out there, and the times we had to leave due to cold hands and lots of tears. It's so fun to teach them where good food comes from. And she sent a couple of pictures in too, which are like of her family out camping and stuff, and like super cool. So thank you for that email, Beth. You want to see these pictures, Jeff?
Yeah, of course I want to see the pictures.
Okay, I got to go into the email because that was a screenshot because I didn't know if I had service out here. That is one thing
That's fair.
that we get now, which is
Pictures,
a
emails?
blessing and a curse, is service on these campgrounds. You know, like you used to be able to get out here and your phone's not going off. Oh yeah. So this is Beth. She's got 2 kids on her. You can scroll down. There's like 4 pictures there, but it's like 2
nice.
kids on her back with like a gun.
2 kids on her back at 22. Oh, and they're in the mountains. They're camping,
Yeah.
sitting around a fire in the
Yeah.
snow. That's a good time.
Yeah.
Beth, you're a good mother. I can tell from the pictures.
I love it. I think it's so cool. And thanks, Brett, for sending that in because I really appreciate that one. Casey's out here with us. I don't know. Like, I offered it a few times. I'm like trying to like butter it up. Say, hey, Case, you want to come hunting with us? We're only going to hunting for a few hours in the truck. Like, you want to come? I'm not sure if he's down or not.
We're not like, and a lot of it's mostly just driving around. But some of the most wildest stuff I've seen is while we're driving around. Like, we've seen wolves.
Yeah.
We saw
Fisher?
that.
Or
Fisher.
No, was it Fisher?
It was a fisher we saw. That was a while ago.
Yeah.
We didn't know what it was. we're sitting there, and this teddy bear comes leaping out of the snow. And we're like, what is this thing?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Because we used to be a little silly. And, you know, you're driving around. I mean, you say you're grouse hunting, but it's minus 20 out in late December. Not too many grouse out, but it's still a cool time to travel these back roads around here.
Yeah, we used to do a lot more in the winter. It would be cold. You're right. I forgot about that.
So cold. And like the success rate for getting a grouse, it's like we just drove 400 kilometers, 2 tanks of gas.
I don't know. I remember it being better in the winter.
In the winter?
Yeah.
Easier to spot them for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was that was fun, and we saw that fisher, and then like I said, we've seen lots of wolf tracks. We've seen moose.
Yeah.
We've seen lots of whitetail deer. A couple big mule deers.
It's funny out here. You shot your first deer.
Yeah.
On this road, and it was a road we used to go down all the time. Did you shoot your first grouse on that road too?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So then we named it Jeff's Road. We came out. Bought a sign, like an official road sign, like a green one with like the reflective letters, and like an official road, like rebar post or whatever it is. pounded it in on the road. It stayed there for like a year before someone
A few
stole it.
years, yeah. Well, there's lots of signs. There's all the oil field signs out there too, right? So it's not like we're polluting. It was up right beside another sign.
Yeah.
It just was fun. I'm sure they just took it down because it wasn't their official sign.
No. Someone stole that with the name Jeff. I'm sure of it.
I've searched Instagram every once in a while, like hashtag Jeff's Road, just to see if.
Yeah. If you're listening to this podcast and you stole the sign or know who stole it, please contact me, wildernesswave@outlook.com. We'd love to interview on the podcast. We won't take the sign back, but we just would love to know.
We want to know what you were thinking when you took
what's your
it. There's
thoughts
no
on the
hard
road?
feelings. That sign is yours. We just want a picture of it. Glad it's passed along, and I assume your name's Jeff.
Yeah.
With a J. So
I hope
that's
so.
definitely fine.
Yeah, I hope.
And although if you're a Jeff with a G that stole it, you need to give it back. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. This campground, we've had a few experiences out here. I know, was it last year we recorded the moon going across the lake? We keep thinking, hey, well, let's just set up a camera and do a video and sell it on YouTube for millions of views.
No, I did do a fire video last year.
Was it a good one?
No,
No.
not really. I even tried to. Even took my fishing rod and tried to walk through the background to get some interest in the background, but it was all cut off. So. Yeah.
Speaking of fishing, we've tried. Every year we're out here, we do a little fishing. Not great success with the trout that are in here, but you said you've been doing some research. Do you have some actual tips now?
I have some ideas of what to do.
Hit me.
Just how to the way we've been setting upper bobbers.
Yeah.
Okay, and then also you can do a slip shot where you use like a bait that will float, because some of those trout baits float and some sink.
Right.
So you got to pay attention to which one floats or sinks.
Okay. You vote for the float one?
Well, no. If you have one that sinks, you use a bobber. If you have one that floats, you use like a slip shot, so that the shot, almost where the bobber would be is weight.
Right.
And that goes to the bottom, and then it floats up, and then you adjust.
Yeah.
You adjust the height where you think the fish are. You adjust the height of how far it goes down or how far it goes up.
What do you? Did you bring floatable?
Yeah, I have everything to do both those things.
Cool.
So yeah,
we also was it? Yeah, it must have been last year. We were out in the inflatable kayaks, and you can get out to the lake, and there's a lot of fish kind of hanging out in this one little area.
well, those were suckers.
Yeah, like a ton of them,
trout.
right?
Yeah,
Caught one of those. Did we catch one last year? I feel like we caught one last year.
I caught one, and then I put it back. But apparently,
we is
the
universal
royal we.
we.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, but I think I put it back. But then I learned that they're actually an invasive species in this lake, and I should have just not put it back.
Oh, I see.
So I regret that a little bit. But there's still lots there. So I'm sure the one didn't make a difference. But they do say, if you read the regulations here, the suckers are not supposed to be.
Yeah, if you get a sucker, get it out of the lake.
They're like, don't put it back.
Interesting. The other thing that's bonus around here too, you have this beautiful lake, but then you can drive the back road for 10 minutes and you get to the Athabasca River.
Well, last
it's a nice
year,
little spot.
Yeah, last year I caught an Arctic grayling on the Athabasca.
Yeah.
Is it Athabasca or McLeod?
That's Athabasca there.
Okay. Because McLeod is just a little...
McLeod heading your other
east of here.
direction. Yeah, McLeod a little more east,
Yeah, okay. Nice. Yeah, no, I caught a grayling. It's a fun little fish. You can't keep them, though. They're endangered in this waterway. So.
Yeah, did you bring some hooks to try to catch a grayling then?
Oh, yeah.
What is the move for a grayling?
A little spinner.
Yeah.
Just a little spinner. The one I caught was on a little tiny 5 of diamonds. Yeah. And they're in the really fast water. So you basically just toss that little hook and let it drip, and it kind of goes down. But I've only caught one, so I don't really think I should be giving all the advice on how to catch them. But that's I caught one that way. So
well, we'll try it again. Maybe we'll try tomorrow and see. I want to take the coyote out tomorrow too, so it'll be a wild weekend. But we just wanted to drop into a quick episode from around the campfire. I love doing the live episodes around the campfire and stuff like that, Jeff. It feels like an outdoor podcast now.
It is an outdoor podcast.
Yeah, I just hope that it comes across when people are listening. It's like, just a couple guys sitting around the fire bullshit.
They hear the crackle of the crackle of the fire, and maybe the
yeah. We got a heater in our trailer, and you're sleeping in a tent. Do you feel a little bit jealous?
The weather's pretty good this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm not super jealous. I have this big 4-person tent, but I'm by myself.
Yeah.
This weekend, so I have a cot in there. I also brought a little folding table so I could lay out my clothes like a little dresser.
Yeah, you got a pretty good setup.
Yeah, and I got a little mat. So this tent's super nice.
Yeah.
It's like a 4-person tent. It's tall enough to stand in.
Yeah.
But it's also like a high quality, like Sierra Designs, like it's not a Canadian Tire tent. It's like so it's full fly. So it's like a really high end tent, but giant.
Yeah, it's a nice looking tent.
Yeah, so it works really great.
I do miss the tenting. I feel like it is tenting. It's got a little more. It feel a little more connected with the camping experience, I think. Yeah. But we spent some time out here tenting a few times. Jamie, I mean, it rained for 24 hours straight.
It rained. After that one, I always bring a tarp now from that trip. Although I've never had to set it. I've only had to set it up once since then.
Yeah. If you missed, Jeff's been on the podcast a few times. One of the things Jeff does after he gets home from camping is he'll write down like, hey, I should have added this to the list and I didn't use any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And so each time you come out, your setup gets a little better. So you're like, yeah, I need a little mat in front of my tent, or I need a little table now.
Yeah, I started using Google Sheets this year, and I made little checklists, and I can,
Oh, cool. That's handy.
It.
Yeah.
And you can say what you use, what you didn't use, and that way,
Yeah.
I always used to be an overpacker, so I packed my clothes for this trip. I looked at my bag, and then I took half of them out.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many pairs of underwear you bring?
One for each day plus a bonus.
Okay,
so
I did
4?
that too, and I'll usually only use one, which is
Yeah. And the same with socks, but then pants. I only brought 2 pairs of pants.
Okay, yeah.
I left jeans. I'm not wearing jeans camping anymore.
Really?
They're literally the worst thing for camping. They get wet. Yeah, jeans.
I exclusively brought jeans.
I'm going to tell you why I don't like. Well, they get, if it's cold or damp, they don't dry easily.
Okay. Yeah.
They don't have utility pockets
Yeah.
to put all the things that you want to have
right
with you. If they get wet, they don't dry easily. That's really the only reason.
I did lie. I did bring camo pants that have 11 pockets on them.
Nice.
Which I'll wear tomorrow. They are my new favorite pants. When I bought them, Christine was like, I don't see you wearing camo pants. I'm like, I don't know. Let me try it. Let me see how test it out this summer, and I find them real comfortable. And you are right. They do dry faster than jeans.
Are they from Eddie Bauer or from
no, they're from Winners. I don't know what brand they are even, but they're super comfy, and they were like in the clearance rack, and it was like $20, and it's like, let me try these out. And
with a quick dry pant too, if it's chilly, you put a pair of long underwear under there. They're stretchy, so the long underwear fits real nice.
Yeah.
And like that, you can go down pretty cold and still be warm.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm gonna try it out tomorrow. Do you feel like wearing camo makes you a better hunter?
I feel like yes.
Yeah.
I don't think camo would exist if it didn't make you a better hunter. Now, do I think wearing camo makes you better if you're not using it as camo, but you're just wearing it as like a token?
Like driving in your truck?
Yeah, I still feel like it does.
Yeah.
It does. It puts you in the mood. It's also like one of the things I've been learning about is like it doesn't need to be a huge impact. It only needs to improve the needle a little bit. So even if it just makes you feel like you're a better hunter,
right,
you will hunt better.
Yeah, I'm wearing camo. It's a solid point. You're right. Yeah, having camo on makes you feel like you're a little more in the zone, maybe. Like, yeah, this is a little more different than day-to-day life. We got camo on.
I also feel like if you're cleaning an animal or a fish or anything, fish are animals, but you know what I mean. If it gets a little messy, the camo clothes are allowed to get a little stained, a little,
Yeah,
it's fine because I'm not going to wear them out to dinner. So if they get stained, it's fine.
You wouldn't wear them to a fancy dinner or anything?
Unless it was a camo themed party.
Yeah. That would be fun. We should put on one of those parties one day. It's like a camo themed party.
You get to the party, you're like, I'm the only one here.
Yeah,
but there's really everyone else is there.
That would be a good time. Casey's already like geared up for party season. I think he's gonna be. I don't know. My debate now is he gonna come hunting with us tomorrow?
I'll ask him tomorrow. See what he wants to do.
See what he wants to do in the morning. We're gonna head out in the morning. Get a grouse, hopefully, or 2. Thanks for listening, everybody. Send us an email if you want to get a hold of us on the podcast at wildernesswave@outlook.com. The best spot to do that. I'm going to get a refilled drink. And Jeff, we're going to have a good weekend out here.
You bet. See ya.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Wilderness Wavelength.